All right, so good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to this week's boot camp. The reason why I decided to do a boot camp today is one, I really wanted to teach you guys how to utilize more opportunities in the market. So, not only trading breakout retests, um, but also being able to trade weak and strong breakouts. So today we're going to go through how to trade weak breakouts and strong breakouts, right? Um so let's begin. So as you guys know, the strategy is three simple steps. Identifying market structure, right? Which will allow you to wait for a breakout, which is step one. Step two, let the retest happen. And then step three, trading the continuation of the market, right? Now, we're gonna use the DXY, the dollar index, um, for some examples. So, and then once I complete this, I will then go through um, some favorites of mine for this week, um, and also send those out because I do have a few favorites for this week. I have around seven, um, eight opportunities that we could utilize this week for sure, right? But let's start with the strategy. So, like I said, the strategy is trading breakout and retest, right? Now, the first thing you want to do is identify structure. And I would have posted many videos on my YouTube channel where I showed you guys how to identify structure using the MACD first, how to recognize which stage of the strategy we are in, depending on the time frame. So, looking at retests, looking to see if the retest has occurred as yet, and then from there, planning your entry so that you can then participate in the continuation of the market. So let's start with the daily time frame, identifying structure, right? Now, this is very important because you want to you want to basically do a top-down analysis, right? It's important that you do a top-down analysis. Why? Because the daily time frame, which is a higher time frame, more than likely would be in a different stage of the strategy compared to the 1 hour time frame, right? But if you do a top-down analysis starting from a higher time frame, when you come down to the 1 hour, you can actually you can counter trend trade, all right? So if you're waiting for a retest on the daily, you may actually be able to trade that retest. So going against the overall trend on the higher time frame. So let's start here. So we're on the daily time frame and I want to identify structure. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to identify structure, right? So I'm gonna put my MACD on the chart and we're using the MACD highs and lows to identify structure for those who may not be aware, right? Um, we're using the lows, which you can see here um, on the red histogram, and the highs, which you can see on the green histogram, right? So following these. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look at basically this downtrend into this uptrend, right? So starting with the last low that we had, which is here, right? So this is the daily low, last daily low. All right. And currently the market is now creating a new daily high. So I'm going to use the previous high, which is here, right? So we have a high here, a daily high right there. Okay. And then you can also look at highs and lows in the previous trend as well, just to complete your markups or to have an idea of where price could be potentially heading to, and stuff like that. So let's look at the previous high. So we have one here, and we have a previous low around here. All right, we have a low here, and then we also have one around here. So let's look at this one. All right, previous market low here, daily low. Okay, and then in between there, we have a daily high around here. Okay, right? So we've identified daily structure. Now, in identifying daily structure, when we first started, I talked about this being the last low. And then I'm also showing you guys how the market is now, in the process of creating daily highs and lows in this uptrend. So this is structure here, right? We have structure here as well. All right. We have some structure here. So we can see in these instances where the market would have failed to break this high, especially here. So market came up to this high, to this structure, and it failed to break. It just bounced and it reversed, right? But then if you look now at where price, so let's look at here. We had a break of structure here. So price successfully broke structure, right? I'm gonna put that in green, right? Price successfully broke structure here. So we had a break and then we had a retest. Now this retest is not the daily retest. This retest, as much as price came and it retested here, this is a lower time frame retest, right? So the daily retest has not quite occurred as yet, is about to happen. How do we know if we had a daily retest from on this time frame? We had a break of structure, price brought to the upside. Okay. Now to confirm a daily retest, we need a MACD to actually cross over to the red histogram. And after this breakout, you could see that the MACD actually never crossed over. As much as this happened, it never crossed over to the red histogram. Is no doing that. So we're now in the process of getting a daily retest on the DXY. So on the daily time frame, what do we have? We have a break of structure, and now we're in the process of having a daily retest. The question is, where would we likely get this retest on the daily time frame, right? Is identifying the imbalance candle that is going to help you with this. Once you can identify the imbalance candle, then you would more or less be able to see where the market is likely to retest on this daily time frame. So what is an imbalance candle? An imbalance candle, usually an impulsive candle, right? So it is an impulsive candle, and it usually stands alone. So to the left and right of that candle, you would not see other candles, right? So the body of that impulsive candle, right, to the left and right of it, you shouldn't be able to see any bodies, any wicks, or anything like that. So over here, this candle right here is your imbalance candle. Why? To the left of that candle, if you look here, you will see that the wick and body of a candle is here, and the wick and body of a candle is up here. So the body of this candle is standing alone. This is your daily imbalance candle. Okay. So what do you want to do is you want to take the wick of the candle to the left and the wick or body of the candle to the right and mark it out with a horizontal ray. So for example, this is the body of the candle because this candle didn't form a wick. And the candle to the left, this is a wick here. Right? So this impulsive candle, right, in between these two horizontal rays is your imbalance zone. Okay, that is your imbalance zone, which means that when we had a break of structure here and the retest that we're looking to get from that break of structure on the daily time frame, price will need to come into this zone. Okay, I'm going to put it green for now, just purposes of this class. All right, so we will need price to come into this zone to give us that retest to continue up. Where are we continuing up? We're continuing up because we had a break of structure. And then the next stage of that strategy is retest. Once we get the retest, then we look for continuation to the upside because the market already told us the direction that it's going. The market told us we're breaking to the upside. The market gave us that break to the upside, right? So we already have clarity. So, like I said, the market gave us clarity for the direction of where it wants to go. So you're not guessing. You're letting the market tell you the direction that it's going. And we have that breaker structure to the upside. So we have that clarity. We know that the market is going to the upside. Second thing is once you've identified your direction, the second thing you're looking for is a retest. The retest is the stage that we're currently in on the daily time frame. Once the retest occurs, then you can plan for your trade to take the market up, right? Because we got confirmation the market is going up. Okay, so we had this on the daily time frame. We had a break. We're now in the process of getting a retest. What I would like to see is although we had two wicks come into this zone, I would like to see the market come a little more into this imbalance zone before I plan my buy. And you may ask, but why? Why would you want the market to come into the zone some more? And one thing that really helps me with understanding that is that I actually measure my imbalance candlestick. So I take a Fibonacci, right? This one here. And I measure the candlestick, which is the imbalance candle, right? From top to bottom. And what I am looking for is that I'm looking for price to come to at least 50% into my imbalance zone. So I am looking for price to come in 50% into my imbalance zone, right? Using this candle. Once I get price coming into this zone, then at least 50% and all of my other confirmations are lined up, then I take my buy to the upside. So all you have to do is measure the candles so that you will know where 50% of is on that candle, on that specific candle. That's clear, everybody understanding me so far? Because we're gonna go through this on the daily, and then we're gonna drop down the 1 hour time frame. We're gonna go through it on smaller time frames as well. But the reason why we start from the daily is because I want you guys to always know which part of the process or which stage in the strategy you're currently in. So that if, for example, on the 1 hour time frame, if we have to drop down the 1 hour time frame now and you seeing a confirmation for sell, you know that on the daily time frame, wait a minute, I actually close to my retest for the buy on the dollar index. So at this stage, I am already planning for my buy. So you need to make sure that everything is in alignment. So you can't just leave one time frame and just focus on one. You have to look at the whole picture. You have to look and see what price is telling you um, from the daily all the way down to the 1 hour time frame. That's very important. Okay. So I have one person saying that they understood so far. Everybody understand? We're up to this point. Everybody's clear on what's happening here on the daily time frame. Guys, come on, talk to me. Drop a message in the chat on mute. Just let me know that you're understanding where we're at right now. Yeah, Saf,
Yes,
Jan.
I'm following so far. Thanks.
Okay, all right, perfect, good. So if we look here and we notice, okay, well, price actually didn't come to our 50% zone as yet. Price didn't come to our 50% zone, so which means that we are still in the process of a retest on the daily time frame. All right, so we're not ready for this daily buy as yet. So let's drop down a few time frames now to see what's happening on a lower time frame. What is price potentially looking to do to get us to this 50% zone? Okay, so I am going to drop down to the 4 hour time frame. And on the 4 hour time frame, I could see that we had consolidation for quite some time, right? On the 4 hour time frame, I could see that we have 4 hour structure in this consolidation, right? Because price is not here as yet. This is our daily retest zone that we want to get in for this play. But on the 4 hour time frame, I can see that we have structure. So let's identify this on the 4 hour time frame, right? Let's look at structure. Now remember, I said to identify structure regardless of time frame, you want to use the highs and lows which are marked out on your MACD. So you're looking at the red zone on the MACD and the green zone on the MACD to identify your highs and lows on that time frame. All right. So based on the 4 hour MACD, we have a 4 hour low here, right? And based on the 4 hour MACD, we have a 4 hour high here. We also have one here as well, but this is the consolidation here boxed in. So we've identified structure on this 4 hour time frame, right? And this is why the picture comes together beautifully, because I'm going to show you guys what's happening now, right? Now, on the 4 hour time frame, what did we have? Because we identify structures. We know that identifying structure is part of is part of the first phase for the strategy. What has occurred with structure, guys? Somebody talk to me. What happened with structure?
It was broken.
Good. So we had a break of structure to the downside, right? We had a break of structure to the downside. Okay. And after we get a break of structure, what's stage two?
Retest.
Good. We get a retest. So once we get a break of structure, you're looking for a retest before you continue in the direction that the market has already given you clarity about. Because the market told you around here that we are going to the down. So you didn't have to guess. Because you wanna make sure that you're trading with confidence. So you didn't have to guess. The market told you, hey, I am breaking to the downside. I am going down. Right? So we had the breaker structure here on the 4 hour time frame. And once we have the breaker structure, in order to plan for the retest, what type of candle and am I going to look for?
Imbalance.
Good. We're gonna look for imbalanced candle in our breaker structure. And if you look really good, you will notice based on my definition of what an imbalanced candle is, this is your imbalanced candle. Why? It is an impulsive candle and it stands alone. So to the left and right of that candle, you should not be seeing wicks, bodies, nothing. It should be a white space to the left and a white space to the right, right? And with that imbalanced candle, you're going to mark out the wick to the left, wherever it is. And this one is here. And then you're going to mark out the wick to the right. All right. So this gives you your imbalance zone. So on the 4 hour time frame, we had a breaker structure, right? And now we had a breaker structure here. All right. I'm going to change this a different color because I don't want us to get confused about what's happening on the daily. So you know the daily is in green and the 4 hour is in blue. So we understanding the complete picture. All right. So on the 4 hour time frame, we had a breaker structure. We identified our 4 hour imbalance candle. All right. And now we're waiting for a 4 hour retest because we had the breaker structure. So on the 4 hour time frame, I am looking now for price to come into my imbalance zone here and then drop. So no, a lot of you guys on this call should be getting aha moments because you start to see how every time frame lines up together, how it creates the entire picture. Because on the daily time frame, we know that we're looking for price to retest 50% of my imbalance candle. So we're looking for price to come down into this zone. So as much as we had on the daily time frame, we had 2 weeks coming into our imbalance zone. It actually didn't come 50% in. So that tells me that I am still looking for price to come into this zone some more, which is our confirmation of this retest that we're going to get on the 4 hour time frame for price then to sell and do what? Come into our zone and come to our 50% of that imbalance candle. Does that make sense?
Yes, please.
All right. So now the setup for the dollar index is waiting for that 4 hour retest here to take the sell down into to push us further into our daily imbalance. Right? Now, what did I do on the daily time frame? I measured my imbalance candle. Right? So on the 4 hour time frame, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna measure my imbalance candles. So I'm starting from the top of the imbalance candle. I'm gonna take the wick at the bottom. So I know that here, 50% of this imbalance zone is where I am looking to enter my retest. So my trade setup for this sell, right, is here. This is my entry. This is my entry. And guess what? My take profit is anywhere close to that 50% of that daily zone that we're looking for price to retest. It doesn't have to be exact because you want to plan for your buy. So I won't directly tell you to take profit at the 50%. You could potentially take profit just a little above your entry on the daily. All right? Stop loss anywhere above that imbalance candle. You don't want to put it directly on the imbalance candle because there is a possibility that price could push a little higher into the imbalance zone before it drops. So you want to give price a little room, right? But this will be my trade setup, right? This will be my trade setup. Anyway, this is the imbalance candle. So anyway, above that imbalance candle, you can place your stop loss. And this is the trade setup for the sell. So when would I know to come in and get into this sell? Would I just get in when price comes to my 50% zone? No, that's one confirmation. So you know, okay, first confirmation you need to wait for, right? So watch price here for a retest. But to confirm your trade, you need the MACD to come around. You see the signal line here? You need this to come around back into your green zone. From the time this enters your green zone and price is around your entry, you can take the sell, right? So you're waiting for price to come back into your green zone, right? You're waiting for that. So the two of these should line up. Price coming into that zone and price coming here. MACD coming here and crossing over and price coming in to your 50%. And that's your trade. So that when this happens on the dollar index, right? When price then sells and it comes down here, right? Whilst this is active, you can now start to plan for your daily trade, right? Because remember, your daily trade now is this. You're looking to catch a buy here, okay? You're looking to catch a buy here. That's your trade setup. So when price comes in, you're looking to get in for your buy around here on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, by that time, you should get a nice crossover into the red zone, right? When price turns and starts to come down here, you should get a nice retest. Everything is already lining up for that retest anyway, because the MACD would already be in alignment. So it's just waiting for price to come in. And this is how you avoid being tricked out to the market as well. Because people seeing this, and I'm being very honest with you, people seeing this daily engulfing candle will say, market already complete its retest. We're on our way up. Let me buy now and take profit when price gets to my TP zone somewhere up here. But really and truly, it's not ready as yet. Because on the 4-hour time frame, lower time frame, we just had to break a structure for a sell. We just had to break a structure. And now we have to wait for a retest. And when price retests here, that's your opportunity to sell. This is what I mean by counter trend trades. Because on the daily time frame, the market is going up. We had to break a structure on the daily time frame. We're in the process of the retest on the daily time frame to continue to go up on the daily time frame. But on the 4-hour time frame, smaller time frame, price is showing us that we had a break of structure to the downside, counter trend. Right? So once we have that break of structure, right? Once we have that break of structure, we're looking for that retest on the 4-hour time frame to then take the trade to the downside. That's your counter trend trade. That's what I mean But if you guys pull together the entire picture, you would recognize that you may not have to necessarily wait for this setup to play out because there's another opportunity for you to take until that setup is ready. And that's your two setups on the dollar index. Is that clear? Everybody clear on that so far?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's one person.
Yes, I'm pretty clear. I think I might need to go over it again um, when we're done.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else? Rashan, Javed, Vicky.
Yeah, I understand so far. But I just say we just keep practicing so really get the hang of it.
Okay, Rashan.
Yeah, the same goes to me as well too. Just have a recap, and then I think I'm gonna get the hang of it
Okay,
once you recap it.
okay, good. All right. So here everybody can see this is basically the analysis for this week on the dollar index, right? The analysis for this week is that we're waiting for the 4 hour retest to take a sell, right? And then after we're looking for that daily retest to take the buy, right? And surpass these highs. Because really and truly, I'm looking for price when it retests here to, break these highs and continue all the way up, right? Because I have the dollar to strengthen. Okay. So let's continue. So we have the analysis on the dollar. Let's look at Euro USD because Euro USD is opposite, right, to the dollar, to what's happening on the dollar. So let's look at the daily time frame on Euro USD, and I cleared my chart. So we building this from scratch. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to look at identifying structure on the daily time frame. And to identify structure, we need a MACD. We want to look at the MACD highs and lows on the daily time frame to identify structure. All right. So I'm going to look at the last daily low that we had, which is here. Okay. I'm going to look at the last daily high that we had, which is around here. Okay. Previous to that, we had a high here, we had a low here, so that is all started. Let's look at over here. We have a daily low down here, and then we had a daily high around here. Okay. So let's try to understand what is happening with Euro USD. We're gonna start from here. Okay. So we had structure created here. Okay. And then the market tried to come out here where it failed to break and it turned around. But then we had a break of structure here. Okay. We had a break of structure here. All right. So just want to make sure everybody sees that we have a break of structure here. So once we have a break of structure, next thing that we're going to look for is for a retest. We want to get a retest. All right. So we had price move all the way up. It came all the way back down. Right? Price came all the way back down. Now, let's identify imbalance candles firstly on the dollar index. All right. So I have an imbalance candle here. market is not as clean as the dollar for Euro USD. Can't mix up with Euro USD and the dollar index, but market isn't as clean, but this was an imbalanced candle that we had here. And what happened? We had price coming back to give us the retest, but price surpassed our imbalance zone and came down into this zone, which is fine. Okay, which is fine. So what stage are we in for Euro USD? We had a breaker structure here. We have basically the retest occurring. All right. So which means that we're now looking for the continuation to do what? We're looking for the continuation to potentially have price going to the upside, potentially, right? Although that's not really the direction that price is gonna go, right? So we had price breaking past here and coming back into this zone. And that was on the daily time frame if we had to look from here, right? But if you look and we come forward, what's happening with price? What's happening with price? We have structure here on the daily time frame. Because there's a reason why why price surpassed this imbalance zone. All right. So you want to go through all of this when you're trading. So we have structure up here on the daily time frame. And price broke structure here. Price broke structure here, which is why it surpassed this. Okay, so this for me is no longer valid. This is current. Price broke structure here. And the question is, when price broke structure here, did we get the daily retest for the continuation to the sell? Not as yet, because we need price after it breaks structure to come back into the green zone. It is now starting to cross. So what do you want to do? You want to identify the imbalance candle on the daily time frame, this being your imbalance zone. Let's measure the imbalance candle. Because remember I told you guys about 50%. So this is 50% here.
May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Your imbalance candle is the first big candle that's breaking your structure line?
Yes. Sometimes it may not always break, it might not always be the candle breaking the structure line. It may actually still be within structure. So like with the dollar index, you will notice that, for example, let me get you an example. Like for example, if we go back here, right? Price broke here, but we have an imbalance candle here. So it would either be a round structure or it would break actual structure. So that's what I say. So I don't want to say the imbalance candle is the impulsive candle breaking structure, because there are cases where the imbalance candle may be before structure is broken. So it's a round structure. So it's just a matter of looking at structure and seeing where you can identify that imbalance candle, because it's going to be around that zone. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Do you have a previous video that goes through imbalance candle? Because I think I know what you mean, but I ain't even sure what question I want to ask.
I do. I have a couple of them, but we'll run through some examples here as well.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
No problem. All right. So on your USD, we have this imbalance candle right here. So we know the imbalance zone. So which means that as part of our retest, right? As part of our retest, we're looking for price to come up to here. And then we're looking for price to continue down. All right. So this is what we're looking for on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we're still waiting for price to complete that retest on the daily time frame. Okay. So we know what's happening on the daily. We know when price comes up here, we're gonna take that sell to the downside. Right? So let's see now what's happening on the forward time frame, because we already planned for the daily time frame. The forward time frame, if you look, right? What happened on the forward time frame? We're dropping down a lower time frame now. So on the forward time frame, we got some structure here because we got some consolidation. Everybody can see this consolidation we have on the forward time frame with Euro USD, right? So let's identify that structure, right? Using the MACD again, we're gonna identify the 4-hour highs and lows, right? This is it here, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we had price trying to break here, but it wasn't successful, all right? It wasn't completely successful, right? This is where now we're going to start to talk about weak breakouts compared to strong breakouts, right? And then we have price breaking here again, but this one was successful. We had a nice, strong, solid break. Okay, so in this breakout, we have the imbalance candle here. So this should show you what I mean by it may not always be the candle breaking structure, but it definitely would be around the structure zone. So it may happen before, it could happen before within this consolidation. It could happen after structure is broken, or it could be the candle actually breaking structure. It's one of those three. Okay, so here we have our imbalance candle. All right, so we're going to identify the imbalance zone. Let me just change this color so we don't get confused. Right, so this is our daily imbalance, sorry, our 4-hour imbalance candle. And don't forget to measure the candle as well, so that you guys can have an idea of where you expect the trade to come and retest. So this is 50% here. So I basically looking for price to come into this zone at my 50% level to continue up. Why? Because we had a breaker structure here on the forward time frame. We had a breaker structure.
What tool are you using to measure the imbalance zone?
And the Fibonacci retracement. All right, so once we have an idea of 50% of that imbalance candle, we know the imbalance candle and so on. We have the breaker structure. Price gave us the breaker structure. Now we're looking for the retest. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for price, right, to come into this zone and then continue up. And this should align with your daily trade. Because remember, on a daily time frame, we're looking to get in for a continuation sell here. On the 4-hour time frame, we had structure on the 4-hour time frame that broke. So we had a break of structure to the upside. We wait for that retest, and then we can catch the trade going up before we even start to focus on our daily retest. So my notes for here, right? My notes for here is 1, watch price here for retest. And 2, wait for the MACD to cross over to give us that retest to confirm that we can take the trade to the upside. Right? And this is a setup for this week because your USD is one of my favorites for the week. So for this week, all you guys are waiting for is for this retest to occur for you to get into this buy and take your USDT upside, right? The trade setup for your USD is all right. The trade setup for your USD for this week is that at least 225 pips up to the upside that you guys can catch on this retest. All right, at least that. So you guys can catch this, and then when price comes up to our daily retest, you already know, well, the setup for the daily is for this sell. Let me just put it over here. 50% of that imbalanced daily candle. Right? Let me go back to the daily time frame for a minute. All right, and you can take price all the way down for that daily trade. That's the setup. Those are the two setups, the 4-hour one and the daily one. Any questions?
Oh, please.
Everybody clear?
Yes. So your 4-hour setup
Mm-hmm.
might happen this week.
Mm-hmm.
And how long is it likely to go? I mean, is that like a long term?
It
something?
depends. I can't directly gauge that the trade might take a day or 2 days. You can end up catching 200 pips in one day, depending on market movement, depending on news. So many things can happen that will push the market. So it could happen in a day or it could take a week, depending on the volatility of the market. I know tomorrow might be a slow day, I think, because of Martin Luther King. But again, it depends on how things go. But what I really tend to do when I'm taking setups is that I focus less on how long it would take, because I know that that's an issue that some traders have, being patient for the trade to play out. But once I am in the trade and I have my parameters set for the stop loss and the TP, I move on to focusing on my next setup because this one is already commencing. This one is already in progress. So the only thing that I have to do with this once it activates is just manage it. Manage it from the perspective of when the trade activates and it's on its way up. Once I get price breaking and continuing up again, and I'm up 50 pips or so, I am going to move stop loss into profit. So that's what I mean by managing it. So I'm just going to manage my stop loss to bring it up to minimize the risk, right? As price continue its way up. But to tell you that I actually close trades early, I don't. If a trade takes 2 days to play out, I'm gonna just let play out. I am just gonna let play out. And I found too, like, that's what really helps grow my account, because I don't cut a trade based on a trade taking long, taking 24 or 48 hours. Sometimes you guys might recognize that a trade might be playing with like it'll be in and out of profit, like red, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, because it's lingering around entry. And that may happen for a day. But then the next day, because some people will decide, why don't let how this trade move in? Let me close the trade. And then the next day you see that price took off and the original take profit that you had was touched. So it's just a matter of patience too. And the market knows that a lot of people don't have patience. The market knows, because it's based on human emotion. A lot of this is based on human emotion. So onus is on everybody as a trader to decide if you're gonna let the market beat you to it. And I had to get over that. I had to get over feeling like I want to close a trade. I don't close out trades. I legit don't. I just manage my trade setup. Once my trade is in, I manage my trade setup, regardless of if it takes 2 days or 3 days. And that's where I want you guys to get to. That's the stage I want you guys to get to. So that's clear. This is clear for everyone, because I want to finish off by talking about the weak and strong breakouts, because you guys already know what strong breakout is, right? This is a strong breakout. What is a strong breakout? So for those that need the notes, a strong breakout is when price breaks structure and it moves away completely from it. So you should be able to see a white space between price and the structure that was broken. So like this. See all of this? This is a strong breakout, because the candles then linger around structure and then to give us a quote unquote retest, right? Price completely moved away from structure. This is a strong breakout. What is a weak breakout then? So a weak breakout is here, where price tries to break structure, but the candles don't move away from structure. So it still broke structure, but it's still in the area of structure. And how would you be able to trade a weak versus a strong breakout? Well, you know how to trade the strong breakouts because I just taught you with 2 examples. But with a weak breakout, once you get a break of structure here, so we got a break of structure here. Let me drop down to 1 hour time frame to show you. Right, so we had a weak breakout here. Price tried to break and it came back in. When price breaks the market as a weak breakout, what you have to do, you don't have to trade it, but for those who may want to, you know, take a more advanced trade and still utilize some of the opportunities the market may have, is you have to look within your zone for an imbalance candle. Because when price gives a weak breakout, price is going to come back into the zone, identify the imbalance candle, and take off from there. Right? So let's look for the imbalance candle. Where is it? Right. Let's look for this imbalance candle. Right? I think it's on the 4 hour time frame. Right. So is it on the 4 hour time frame? Yep. Right, imbalance candle here. So when we had the weak breakout, let's go back to the 1 hour time frame. When you had a weak breakout, price came right back into that imbalance zone, retested it, and then moved and continued up to then give us a strong breakout. So weak breakouts happen first before strong breakouts occur. So what you're going to definitely see first is a weak breakout happening from structure. It's almost every time the market is in some type of consolidation before it breaks out completely, you're going to get a weak breakout. Some people, some educators may call it a false breakout because that's what it is. Market tricks you that it's breaking and then it comes back in. So usually with consolidation, you get two types of breakouts happening. You get a weak breakout first, where price tries to break structure, but then it comes back within the zone. When you see price give you a weak breakout, all you have to do if you want to take that advanced trade setup is look for your imbalance candle within the zone. It's not something that you're going to get today. So don't feel pressured if you can't understand how to identify candles, the imbalance candle within the zone, because I'm probably going to have to go through this on Tuesday again, right? Because it's a little difficult, this one, trading a weak breakout. But once you get it, trust me, you'll be able to catch moves coming from here to catch the full breakout. And then you'll be able to catch moves happening based on strong breakouts. But you're going to see it. You're going to see it when I send out a trade setup. You're going to see it then. You're going to see it when I send out trade setups for weak breakouts and strong breakouts. You'll know the difference. You'll know. Because I showed you guys one this week. Let me see. There was a case where we had a weak breakout. I already changed my charts. Let me look here. I had a weak breakout this week. That just gone. Oh, this. I have this too. We missed this move for this week, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We missed this sell setup, but I will go through that on Tuesday. I don't want to go through that today. I am looking for weak breakouts. Okay, we have one here. We have one here. It has not played out as yet, but this is one. Okay, so this is just to run through this as an example quickly, right? So we have structure here. We have some structure here in the 1 hour time frame that I identified for this week on your JPY. We had a breakout, but it was a weak breakout, right? Because price is still basically lingering around structure. It has not moved. You can't see a white space between price and structure. So this is a weak breakout. So coach, once I have a weak breakout, where am I looking for to get in for the sell continuation? Would I use this imbalance candle that is right here by structure? No, because price is going to come back into the zone looking for an imbalance candle. And that imbalance candle, I'm going to be very honest with you, usually is close to the top of that of the entire zone. So if we had a breakout, the weak breakout to the downside, the imbalance candle that price is more, and that's going to retest, is going to be close to the top of that consolidation. So you see here, right? Let's watch price this week. By the time we do a class on Tuesday again, pretty sure that you guys are going to see price retesting here and then giving us a strong breakout. We're going to watch this week. All right, but this is actually the move that I have for your JPY for this week because I had a weak breakout. I'm looking for price to come back into this zone, test this imbalance candle, and then give us a strong break to the downside. So this is a trade setup for this. You guys can look for this. All right. I'm gonna go through market analysis now. Right. Remember to measure your imbalance candle. 50%. So I am looking for price to come here, give us a retest, and then drop. This is analysis for this week. All right, so you guys can look for this. You can take it to structure, or you can, once you've identified structure on a lower time frame, once you've identified structure below, you can then look for your take profit points. But for the purposes of going through analysis for this week, no, I am just going to give you a TP. Right, so right here is good. This is the trade setup for this week on Euro JPY. So you guys can look for that. All right, that's Euro JPY. This is the trade setup. Wait for price to come up to here. What are the notes? The notes is for this one, watch price here for retest. And what else? Right? Next note is wait for a signal line to cross over. All right, so all you're waiting on is for price on the MACD, the signal line, to cross back over. Once you get that crossover and price is here, you know you can take your trade. That's on your JPY. All right, so you guys could take a picture of that for those who don't have full access, obviously, to see when I post this setup. So you guys can take a picture of that. I'm gonna give you guys some free setups for the week, right? So there's the trade setup for Euro JPY, right? You already know the trade setup for Euro USD. Euro USD is waiting for price to come to here. All right, and then taking it to the upside. So let me just give you guys a visual so you can take that. This is the setup for Euro USD for this week. So you guys can take a picture of that so that you can utilize it yourself. All right. So Euro USD, the trade setup is, can you measure the imbalance again? Sure. There we go. Euro USD, you have the setup is going to be on the 4-hour time frame for one, and the second one is going to be on the daily. For Euro JPY, the setup is on the 1-hour time frame. The 1-hour time frame, okay? So on the 1-hour time frame is where you're looking for that signal line to cross over and give you that retest. On Euro USD, you're looking for that signal line to cross over first on the 4-hour time frame. So you're gonna wait for that. And then for the daily retest, you know that you guys are waiting for price to come up to here. So I hope that you guys made some notes. Okay. Hopefully you guys made some notes there. Next setup for this week is AUD USD. With AU, I'm looking for price to come into this zone here. So watch price here for retest. Right, this trade is a 4-hour trade as well. Okay, so watch price for retest, and also on the MACD, wait for price, the signal line, to cross over. Right, so this is a 4-hour. You want to get in this using the 4-hour time frame, means that you have to watch the 4-hour MACD. Right, you guys can take a picture of this as well. Price is gonna continue and surpass here. Just saying you guys know why, because if you've been paying attention, this is a weak breakout. So because we had a weak breakout, I'm looking for price to retest here and then continue up to give us a full breakout, right? So just saying you guys know, watch that for AUD USD for this week because we had a breaker structure. So this is the trade setup for AUD USD. You guys can take a picture of that. 3, 2, 1. Okay, USD chef. USD chef. On the forward time frame, you're waiting for this. I'm gonna measure this imbalance candle now, Maria, so you can see. So this is the imbalance candle here on the forward time frame. Using the Fibonacci retracement, I'm gonna start from the top of the wick of that imbalance candle. Then I'm gonna come to the bottom, which is the body of that imbalance candle. In this case, it doesn't have a wick. And 50%, so 0.5 is my 50. That is my entry there. Right. So for UCAD, I'm looking for price to come up to here and then sell. All right. So watch price here for retest. I already have it. Wait for retest and then sell there. But then on the forward time frame, right? Wait for signal line to cross over. Right? Wait for signal line to cross over. So you're gonna wait for this. Right? So wait for signal line to cross over into the green histogram. That's on UCAD. USD JPY. Right? USD JPY. I'm gonna measure this again, Maria, so that you can see. So measuring the imbalance candle, starting from the top, the wick, coming to the body. Okay, so set up for this week. There we go. All right, set up for this week. I'm gonna wait for price to come to here. 50%. I'm gonna watch price here, see how that works out. All right. And then I'm gonna wait for my signal line again for our time frame trade. Wait for my signal line to cross. Right? So we're just gonna wait for that. Wait for a signal line to cross over. Right? Watch price here for retest. All right. Can take a picture of this trade setup. Now changing in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're a CAD. All right, so for your CAD, I like this setup. It's not an absolute favorite of mine, but I do like it. What I had on your CAD was I had a false breakout here, or a weak breakout, right? So price tried to break structure. We had a weak breakout here. Price came back into the zone and tested the imbalance candle in here before it went to the upside, right? No situation that I had here again is that I had another weak breakout because it didn't directly move far away, right? And that's why price came back into the zone again. So in this case, price came here to this imbalance candle and that it formed and it retested here, which is what's happening now. So what am I looking now? What am I looking at now on UCAD? Potentially watching to see if I can get a retest here and then take price to the upside. As I said, this is not absolute favorite. You guys could actually leave this one out if you want to, but it's just something that I like a bit because it's in my imbalance zone. So if I get price retesting in here, I'm gonna take that buy to the upside. So to give you guys a trade setup, this is my trade setup. more or less. Right, that's the trade setup here. Right, that's my trade setup there on EuroCAD for this one. All right, so you guys can take that. Look at that one in 3, 2, 1. GBP JPY. Okay, so GJ, I have price to retest here. We had a kind of weak breakout here, right? So price still lingering around structure. So I have price to break back into this zone and retest here to continue to the downside and then give us a strong breakout, right? So the trade setup is similar to your JPY. If you look carefully, you will notice if you look at this and you look at your JPY, you will notice that I have both of them to kind of play out together. All right. So with this trade setup for this is here. And you can take this down to, can actually take this down to around here. All right. So analysis for that is watch price here for retest. That is the first one, and then this is a 1 hour trade. In this case, you're gonna wait for the signal line to cross over. So watch for that. And you can take a snapshot of this trade setup now in 3, 2, 1. Odd JPY, sorry, odd CAD, sorry, not odd JPY. That was odd JPY. Odd CAD. This is a trade setup for iceberg. And I'm still watching it because it will eventually play out. It has not quite played out as yet, but I know that it will play out. And I still have my eyes on it because sometimes you may have a setup and it doesn't happen the first week. And then when you check it 3 weeks later, you're going through market analysis, you tend to see that the play out did happen. You say, wait, I forget all about this. And it actually did exactly what we were looking for. So there's a possibility that we could get this retest this week. The retest is, or the trade setup is this. Right, so 50% of here. So actually looking for this to eventually give us a retest of structure into that imbalance zone and then give us a sell down. Right, we should be able to get a sell into this zone, back into this zone. Right, so still 154 pips. So this is my setups for this week. My absolute favorites for the week are Euro USD, Odd USD, USD CAD, USD JPY, Euro JPY, and GBP JPY. Right? I still have Euro CAD there as a possible setup, but as I said, it's not an absolute favorite because we have some cleaner setups there. And then obviously with OddCAD, this may not occur this week, but this is a setup that will eventually happen because the market gave us confirmation. 1, that we had a break of structure to the downside. 2, we need to now wait for the retest to occur. And then once we get that retest, we can take the continuation to the downside with this setup. Okay. And that basically wraps it up for today. Any questions, anyone?